What is up everyone, welcome to another camera comparison video. Today we have Redmi K30 Pro, Vivo X50 Pro and Oneplus 8 Pro. Okay, if you end up liking this video then please don't forget to click on the like button. Also please subscribe to this channel. As usual, I'll start with ultra-wide lens and look at this. The picture in the middle. Even the word amazing doesn't sound correct. Yes, all of these three images were taken with stock camera application on basic mode. On the left, it's Redmi K30 Pro, and Redmi K30 Pro got a 13 megapixel sensor for its ultra-wide lens. OnePlus 8 Pro comes with a Sony IMX586 flagship class 48 megapixel sensor underneath that ultra-wide lens. And in the middle, that's Vivo X50 Pro. This one got a 8 megapixel sensor under its ultra-wide lens. Exposure, dynamic range, color grading, contrast ratio in every segment. This picture in the middle beaten the other two. But if you think, okay, this is the end and Vivo X50 Pro is the winner, then I would say stay for a while, watch through this video and let's see what happens in different conditions. Okay, these are taken with the main sensors. Redmi K30 Pro comes with Sony IMX686 64 megapixel sensor, OnePlus 8 Pro comes with Sony IMX689 48 megapixel sensor and Vivo X50 Pro comes with Sony IMX598 48 megapixel sensor. While OnePlus 8 Pro continued to produce images with darker tone and less vibrance, Redmi K30 Pro produced better image with better color grading and exposure. However, AI of Redmi K30 Pro has an issue. As it tries to beautify the sky with blue tint, it increases ambience and tint through the image. All of these three smartphones got their main sensors from Sony, but you can see the difference in results. Vivo X50 Pro continued to produce amazing images that is not only comfort for eyes but also close to reality. I must mention that Vivo X50 Pro actually comes with two telephoto lens. There is a 13 megapixel for 2x optical zoom. Also there is a 8 megapixel sensor for 5x optical zoom sitting under a periscope lens. The picture on the left is a digital crop. As I am using a Redmi K30 Pro base variant, this one doesn't come with a telephoto lens. And at the right, OnePlus 8 Pro comes with a 3x optical zoom option. There is a 8 megapixel sensor sitting under the telephoto lens. Also, it has OIS. Yes, it is clear that OnePlus continued to keep things a bit dark, but in terms of sharpness and details, OnePlus 8 Pro beaten other two without any issue. Redmi K30 Pro seems a bit saturated and kept all the attributes of its main sensor image, as this 2x zoom image was also taken with its main sensor. Vivo X50 Pro 13 megapixel sensor did almost as good as its main sensor. However, if you check carefully, due to harsh sunlight, there is a yellow tone. Other than that, this one would be the best. Now you need to understand that the pictures we have seen were taken under sunlight, and once we move to soft lighting condition like foggy and haze weather condition, things are different. Redmi K30 Pro aggressively tries to increase highlight and contrast, tries to saturate the image, and as a result, the whole thing goes far from reality. I would say Vivo X50 Pro and OnePlus 8 Pro rather does very well in soft lighting condition. OnePlus 8 Pro actually kept things as it is, didn't try to increase ambience and vibrance, grabbed more details and definitely sharper than other two. But once you check the sky, you'd feel disappointed. This is how a good picture gets ruined. Post-processing or AI, whatever you say, added this blue tint to the sky, which is truly far from reality. Vivo X50 Pro did something similar to Redmi K30 Pro, increased highlights and vibrance. Look at the trees. All the leaves are a bit yellowish and the tone of the sky is a bit more like washed out. Moving to main sensor and carefully check the picture taken with Redmi K30 Pro. Now this one is the best. Why? Check the sky on all of the three images. Redmi K30 Pro got the correct tone. Check the building on the left. You will see more details on Redmi K30 Pro image. Check the floor of the roof. Sharpness and details. Both is higher on K30 Pro. Finally check the leaves of the trees and you can see higher dynamic range. Don't you see the differences? Okay, another 2x zoom image, and this time Redmi K30 Pro did better than Vivo X50 Pro. Yes, once again OnePlus 8 Pro 3x optical zoom proved to be a bit better in terms of sharpness and details. However, Vivo X50 Pro is not far behind. What makes K30 Pro image better as a whole is its true tone and higher mid-tone, which made the green leaves look creative. Yes, I had to wait till the evening to grab these 3 pictures. Without any question, Vivo X50 Pro night mode did better. OnePlus 8 Pro fought hard, however, failed to separate well-lit areas and dark areas. On the other hand, Redmi K30 Pro night mode is truly not as good as the other two. Don't worry, we are going to check some other night mode photos. I have taken night mode photos of this alley with more than 60 smartphones through last 2 years, and this one on the right is one of the best night mode image of this alley. Brightness, exposure, details and color tone, everything is as good as it can be. I believe that night mode photos are for more visibility with the most possible sharpness and details, and here OnePlus 8 Pro really did great. Yes, Vivo X50 Pro did good, however lost to OnePlus 8 Pro in terms of visibility. As we continue, we can see that Redmi K30 Pro can also grab more details and can produce sharper images. However, once you take a moment and check carefully, you can see image produced by Redmi K30 Pro has lower visibility and sharpness at the background. There is more noise and grains. It is true that OnePlus stock camera application got the best denoising algorithm, but a Vivo X50 Pro really did not fall far behind. The only problem with Vivo X50 Pro is it tries too hard to brighten up and that increases grains. Before we take a portrait image, let us take a picture with the main sensor. Okay, now you know how it looks like without that bokeh effect. Without moving the smartphones and without changing any settings, let's take some portrait pictures. Do you see the difference? You can rewind 10 seconds and check the differences. Yes, OnePlus 8 Pro has better creamy bokeh effect. Redmi K30 Pro also did good, but Vivo X50 Pro bokeh effect is not as good as other flagship smartphones. All of these 3 smartphones did similar and did good in age detection. Nothing to complain about. However, OnePlus 8 Pro color grading through the image is way better. Yes, Vivo X50 Pro comes close, but Redmi K30 Pro falls behind as it unnecessarily increased highlights. By the way, where is Redmi K30 Pro portrait image? As there is no telephoto lens, Redmi K30 Pro cannot take telephoto lens portrait image. It takes general portrait image with depth effect. Yes, both Vivo X50 Pro and OnePlus 8 Pro uses their telephoto lens to take true portrait images, and among these two, OnePlus 8 Pro portrait image is far better with better bokeh effect, edge detection and color tone. I am truly disappointed with OnePlus 8 Pro selfie images. Yes, there are issues with exposure with OnePlus 8 Pro when I wear a mask. Especially the brighter the mask, the bigger the problem is. Now you know why the image on the right is overexposed. Cause I was wearing a mask. Vivo X50 Pro did great to reproduce correct color tones and grabbed more details. Redmi K30 Pro image stays in between X50 Pro and 8 Pro. Wow, even in portrait mode, OnePlus 8 Pro continued to overexpose and it seems like there is some kind of filter. However, the bokeh effect and edge detection is good. Redmi K30 Pro did something usual in search of brightness, drifted from true color tone. Vivo X50 Pro really amazed me with better bokeh effect and skin tone. Time for videos, and this video was recorded at 1080p 30 frames per second. I did not try to hold the smartphones cautiously. I was carelessly holding the extended selfie stick where all of these 3 smartphones were attached to. I have tried to move left and right to check stability. From what I see, I am pretty convinced that Vivo X50 Pro does offer better stabilization. It is also ahead of other two in terms of color and details. Redmi K30 Pro always saturates on 4K. Yes, this video was recorded at 4K 30 frames per second. Yeah, this is a fight between OnePlus 8 Pro and Vivo X50 Pro. After watching these clips for a few times, I found that OnePlus 8 Pro actually did better, as there is almost no jelly effect from EIS. As all of these 3 smartphones offers ultra steady option, this video was recorded with ultra steady option enabled. All of these 3 smartphones records ultra steady videos at 4K 60 frames per second and then crops it in the center and matches to 1080p 60 frames per second. Color grading, details, sharpness and jelly effect. Considering all these issues, I would say once again OnePlus beaten Redmi K30 Pro and Vivo X50 Pro. What do you think? Please don't forget to make a comment in the comment section below. Well, we have already reached the end and it's time to wrap up. I think OnePlus 8 Pro is the winner and Vivo X50 Pro comes pretty close to OnePlus 8 Pro. But if we consider the price, if we consider other specifications of these three smartphones, then I would say Redmi K30 Pro is the runners-up. I mean, yeah, OnePlus 8 Pro still is the best, but then it comes Redmi K30 Pro and then Vivo X50 Pro. So I wanna know what do you think. Please don't forget to make a comment in the comment section below, and if you have liked this video then please don't forget to click on the like button. Also, if you subscribe to this channel, that would be great.